Hey, Brian, when you go back and edit this, you'll hear this part. Isn't that interesting and weird?
Hello, welcome to Egghead Anarchy. This is our 26th episode. We will be reviewing Suicide Squad and talking about it.
Yeah. Yep, we sure will. This is worth noting, though. We start off before spoilers being like, hey, should you see it? No. And then by the end of our spoiler conversation, we're like, yeah, probably. Just don't pay full price for it. Wait till it's available to rent and then see it. And
we have some pretty heated debate as well. there are a couple sections of this movie that seem to be more open to interpretation than I thought they were. But Alex and I have some pretty different takes on a couple different things. So this movie is surprisingly more conversational than I was expecting.
And there's a lot of us going, oh my God, didn't you love that part when? And then you being like, yeah, I did love that part. And then there's a lot of us also being like, oh my God, wasn't that part so fucking dumb when? And you're like, yeah, that was the worst. Why'd that happen? That's basically the spoiler section. It's just us being like, this was great. Garbage, this part. This part was amazing. This part was garbage. Yeah. So it's been a long time since I've seen a movie that swings so far between being good and bad. Yeah, so that's probably our better little summary of actually what that movie is. So
we're totally going to override what we say in the next section with what we're saying right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, we hope you guys enjoy this episode, and we will let you get to it. So, Suicide Squad. We're going to talk about Suicide Squad a little bit.
So, we've kind of done this before, but I think I'm going to make sure that we actually do this. So, first of all, we're going to do a little, what we think. Like, this is the consumer section, and it'll be short, and then we're going to do spoilers.
Yes, lots of spoilers. We're going to spoil everything.
So, do you think that people should see this film?
I would say no.
Did you like this film?
That's so hard.
Ish. Do you want to see this film again?
No.
Never?
No.
Or just not in theaters? Never again?
Never again. Unless they come out with like a director's cut, R-rated version, something like what they did with the Batman v Superman. No, I will never see this movie again.
Oh yeah, I walked out of that movie going, wait, that wasn't R-rated, was it?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, that should have been R-rated. Like there were a couple things in there that and we'll talk about this when we get to the spoilers, but that definitely should have been R-rated.
Yep. All right. And so what I would say is I think some people really fucking love this movie.
Yeah, I've seen a few people like that.
Well, yeah, it's so like art house. Like not exactly.
We get into spoilers, but yeah.
It feels more like those trailers are the worst for this movie. I thought they're real good trailers, but they're actually real bad trailers for this movie. They give you no clue what you're about to watch.
Well, and that's, Okay. So quick summary. What do you think? Did you like it or no?
Yeah.
I know it's hard. It's hard, right? It's hard.
I think I liked it.
Okay. So would you recommend anyone else see it?
Yeah, I would say yes, but that it's real hard to watch. Like some things are real difficult and unpleasant to watch. If you like that kind of thing, you'll probably enjoy this movie. If you're into like a more of a horror, like like Rob Zombie kind of thing, this feels kind of Rob Zombie to me.
No, you don't think so? About that. Okay. But, and then would you see it again in the theater or at all? Like what you asked me, would you see it again at all?
I definitely want to see it again, but part of that is just because I can't fucking decide how I feel about this movie. So I'm like, I need to know what happened. I kind of want to see it again. And there were definitely a lot of parts in it that I really liked.
Yeah, that's true for me too.
And I kind of feel like it might be one of those situations where it's like 2000 Leagues Under the Sea, which I loved as a kid, except for the first half an hour. I'd always fast forward through the first half an hour of that movie. Because the first half an hour is all them walking around going, here there's a boat somewhere. There's boats sinking. Let us go to the country assayer's office and look up cases of boats being sunk. Oh, there sure are boats being sunk. It's real boring, people walking around until they get to Captain Nemo's ship. Like,
weird.
At least as a kid, I couldn't stand that part. I was like, this is too boring. So I just fast forward to the interesting part and then watch that part.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Okay, so now
spoilers.
We're going to get into the spoiler territory. Yes. All right. So, this is the spoiler section. So, if you don't want any spoilers, you should stop right now and then go watch the movie and then come back and listen to this when you're done.
Quite frankly, if you are sitting there and you just listen to the part where we're like, when we were asked whether or not we like this movie, maybe just listen to this part and then be like, then make a judgment based on what you think. Because I think personal reaction to this movie, I think about 70% of people are going to be like, fuck this movie. And about 30% of people are going to be like, I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of people will be like us and be like,
Yeah. So, and also too, like, I think this movie's kind of unique when it comes to quote unquote spoilers, because knowing the spoilers, they won't lose that much impact. Like
nothing happens in this movie.
Well, and that's part of.
Oh, that's not true. There are a few things that happen that are spoilery.
What?
El Diablo dies. I'd say that's
spoilery. But I
spoilery.
guess I saw that coming so early that wasn't really like.
I was real disappointed that he died. He was a character that I really liked.
Oh yeah, totally. Me too. I mean, he had to die. Like, well, okay, put it this way: the way that the movie was going, I figured that he had to die
because he was the best person there.
Yes.
He's the only good guy.
Yes.
He's
aside from Deadshot ended up being a good guy, but
yeah, kind of.
He was the character that I liked the most besides Deadshot, and so I was like, he's gonna die. Like, I think that's the whole reason that they're setting him up like this. He's the only one who really was grappling with being evil. Like, he was the only one who really struggled with that, or who was trying to change.
Deadshot's kind of a good guy, but he even still just does not. He'll still kill a dude for money. Like, he's not. And he's like,
he loves his daughter and he wants to be with his daughter, but he's like, I'm an assassin. I'm the best. I kill people for money,
and I like doing it. I think that was the point where I was like, okay, this is good. I like that they had that moment where he what was it? He's having the conversation with Harley Quinn where she's like, "What's with the mask?" And he's like, when I put it on, people die. And she's like, whatever. She calls him a pussy or something.
Yeah. And he's like, I like putting it on.
No, yeah. He's like, I like putting it on. I think that was the point where I was like, okay, this is not too overdone. Cause I was afraid that Deadshot was going to be too like, Will Smith is always the hero. He's just the hero.
Yeah.
But that moment was good. Cause it was like, no, he's still not a good person.
Yeah.
Like he's good to his daughter. He's not the worst. He's not going to let the world end just because he's an asshole.
Right. Well, he's a multi-dimensional character. Yeah. You know, and that's one of the things that I liked about the movie is that I think there were a couple of characters. Well, actually quite a few that were multi-dimensional characters that had a lot to them, and I thought that was really good. I want to say right off the bat, the thing that disturbs me the most about the movie, and is the reason that I'll never see it again. Wait. Outside of
was it the force feeding?
Force feeding.
Okay, nope. Go ahead then. That scene made me like really uncomfortable.
Force feeding
in the very beginning, where the dude is force feeding Harley Quinn through a feeding tube through her nose.
Oh, yeah. Well, all of that, like, just that was
again, like if you just heard that and you're like, oh fuck that. Like,
don't watch the movie.
Don't watch that movie.
Like, honestly,
almost, I should have just said that.
My biggest problem with the movie was Harley Quinn's character, the way that they dealt with Harley Quinn's character. Like, especially in the beginning. Like, the Joker, the way that relationship started, fuck this movie. Like, fuck this movie. The Joker abuses her and she falls in love with him, and they never address just how terrible that is.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's basically always the Harley Quinn story. Like, that's just her character.
Except that the Joker never actually gives a shit about her in the comics. At least not in the ones that I read, and not in the storylines that I saw. And that was the thing. The Joker is a bad person. He doesn't love anybody. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. And Harley Quinn loves him, but she doesn't ever get anything back. That's
not. They have a weird power dynamic. So Harley Quinn is undercuts him a lot. And then also, I've seen this in the interview with Paul Dini that he did with Kevin Smith on Kevin Smith's podcast, Fat Man on Batman, where he talks about that character and how he created her as kind of like a foil, like a joke character. But then when he went on, he did the episode where we see them in private together, and it is the Joker like crying and like breaking down emotionally, and she's like smoking a cigar and drinking a whiskey, because in private that power structure is completely different.
But the movie doesn't show that.
I don't know. So there's that scene
in the movie. He like makes her psychotic. Like, he breaks her. He tortures her until she becomes Harley Quinn. And for some reason, she falls in love with him.
Okay.
Like, and that's something else that I don't think they ever really explained, is why she falls in love with him.
Yeah.
Like, they never answer that. And then toward the end of the movie, when the witch character is giving them the visions of whatever they want, she wants a normal life with the Joker. She doesn't want what she turned him into. That is not what she wants for herself. And that's not what she wants for him. And yet somehow the movie presents the Joker as sort of like good to her, but still abusive. Like, he comes to rescue her, but he also like pimps her out as a prostitute, but not really. Like, it didn't.
Okay, so I think this is a very fetishy relationship, and I think this relationship is something that I liked about this film. It's real awful. It's real fucking awful, but I think it's awful in a way that I was like, oh God, this is just the worst. And also, let me just ramble. but it's well done. I think the awfulness feels purposeful, intentional, and is fleshing out those characters. Like, they're awful people with awful lives. And that's kind of, they're the villains of this story. But also, I did feel like that scene where he was like, Harley Quinn, you just, I assume, gave me a machine gun. We didn't actually see that happen. And like, let me get out. And now I'm going to shock your brain.
Yeah.
I was like, so here's the thing that I feel like this movie really had really bad editing and needs to be edited. That's
something else I wanted to bring up too. Fuck Warner Brothers executives, but continue.
I'm not an editor, but I feel like I could make a better edit of this movie. Just with what they have there, I could just cut a couple of scenes and this would be way better. Just cutting some stuff. Like, not even.
There were two shots specifically that me, as a non-editor, I'm like, you're clearly missing 1/2 second shot. Like, so when El Diablo first does his thing and goes off, there's zero punch to that because of the way they edited it. There's nothing in the middle. Like, he does his fire thing, and then all of a sudden everything is just on fire. There's no buildup. There's no audio cue. There's no nothing telling you what's going to happen. There's just like, it's like they cut out the middle shot of him shooting that fire out. And then what was the other one? It was, I forget what it was. It was toward the end. I think it might have been with, another thing was too, the witch, like at the end, what the fuck was she doing some kind of weird dance thing the whole time? Like, that didn't make any sense. But,
that's just her character. That's how she does magic.
But it was just stupid. I don't know. It was, okay. And so that's another thing. Like, fundamentally, I think I have a big problem with the way that this movie, and not just the character, but the movie itself treats women. Like, I think it's so I can kind of see, kind of like what you're saying, they're bad people, right?
Yeah.
But the movie itself seems to be obsessed with smacking women on the ass. Like, the number of times that they show that happening and that guys talk about that happening, and the way that it's talked about in terms of, that's kind of how you get women to be submissive or to do what you want or to get them in line, is that you smack them on the ass. Fuck the movie. Like, no, that's fucking bullshit. And then
I completely disagree with what you're saying. I thought
Please
this
explain.
was a really, oh man. See, I think, shit. All right, hold on. Cut that part out where I just get real, like, what the fuck am I saying?
Okay.
Or just leave that in so I look dumb. Anyway, yeah, Harley Quinn, like when they introduce her, they're like, she's crazier and more fearless than the Joker. And I really felt like in this film that they're playing up Harley Quinn as more of the central character than the Joker. Like they went,
oh, absolutely.
You know what? The Joker, fine. We've seen him though, a bunch. I think in this DC universe, Harley Quinn is really the main like clown antagonist. And I think in future movies, she might be more of the villain than the Joker is.
I'd very much like to see that.
We'll see, obviously. Maybe they won't, but that seems to be where this movie is going. And the kind of thing where like Batman is chasing them down and then the Joker fucks off. He runs away and Harley Quinn is like, nah, I'm just going to attack Batman with a knife. Like, it's cool. I got this. Like,
and then when he saves her, he fucking tries to make out with her when she's unconscious. What the fuck is that?
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No.
He leans over her and tries to kiss her, and then she ends up punching him in the face.
No, he gives her CPR, and then she grabs him from behind and starts making out with him.
What?
Yeah, that's what happened in that scene.
I feel like we saw a different scene. He was leaning over top of her.
Yeah, giving her CPR.
No, that was not CPR.
Yes.
He was kissing her. That was way too long.
No, that was CPR, and then she starts kissing him. And then he pushes her off and like slams her down on the hood because she started making out with him. That is completely not at all that I think you misinterpreted that scene.
Well, and I'm just as convinced that you misinterpreted the scene. And maybe this is part of like the art house thing that you were talking about earlier, because if like this scene is clearly open to multiple interpretations, right?
I don't think it is.
Well, the thing is, neither do I. Like, I'm absolutely convinced that you're misunderstanding the scene.
We could watch this back now.
I know, me too. I'm thinking the same thing.
But what you're saying doesn't even
when it comes out on Blu-ray,
yeah.
maybe we can watch it. Like, we can do a commentary.
What you're saying doesn't even make sense, like in the context of the film.
That's
she was
my
underwater.
problem with it. It didn't make any sense at all. Like, it totally destroyed Batman's character. It didn't make any sense at all, and it didn't fit into anything. He pulled her out. He flopped her down on the hood of the Batmobile, I think it was, and then she's on her back, and he checks her pulse. And it's like, oh, she's clearly alive and she's okay. And then he goes to kiss her, and then while he's kissing her, she punches him in the face.
She's not.
He doesn't back up. He doesn't do the chest pushing thing that you do as part of CPR. He kisses her. It's not that
long. You don't have to do chest pushing. Like you do breaths and then pushing and then breaths and then pushing.
I understand, but he's also in the wrong position to do anything related to CPR either. You don't do CPR standing there. I mean, again, like nothing about that scene told me that he was doing CPR. And then like one thing that I will say, and this maybe tell me if I'm wrong, but so the part where she kisses him, like where Harley kisses Batman. Yeah. Like I could see that being her, like kind of being like, I don't know, like aggressive or like trying to weaponize her sexuality against him for like basically trying to treat her like an object, which if that's the thing, then maybe, but that still kind of seems like bullshit to me.
I don't know. We're going to have to just like play back slow motion that scene and do it, because I don't think that was the case, and I mean, you do, and that's
put it this way: if that was supposed to be CPR, that is the most bullshit, inaccurate, ridiculous
let me
version
address
of CPR.
One thing about this whole movie, which is that it looks like garbage.
Oh, absolutely true.
Every scene is real dark, real hard to tell what's going on.
Yep.
So I'm actually not that surprised that we're having this disagreement, because the whole thing is real dark, real ugly.
Yeah.
In tone, in everything.
Well, and I think part of the reason that it feels dark and ugly is, especially in the beginning of the movie, when they try to do like the bright, funny scenes with the pop music. Yeah. Like especially in the character intros, those just don't fit at all with the rest of the movie.
So something that I'd cut, all those character intros, why are they there?
Yep.
Also, half of them we see again.
Yes. Thank you.
We see twice. Oh my God.
I literally could not believe that. I was like, we just saw the intro for Deadshot 10 minutes ago, and now we're getting another one?
Yeah, because they're like, oh, here's the intro where we show you who Deadshot is and what he's about. And then we're also going to have this scene where he shoots guns to show you that he shoots guns and that's what he's about.
Yep.
Why are these both in here?
Yeah.
Just only one of these needs to be in here. And El Diablo is real bad too, because they literally just show it twice. They show it once, and then they show it once on a tablet. They might even show it again. Like that, I think, shows up 3 times.
Yeah.
And one time it's longer, and I think the longer time is actually on the tablet. Like,
did you hear about the whole like reshoot thing with this movie?
They did reshoots.
Oh yeah.
Warner Brothers does reshoots on like every movie that they put out. And they also, hold on,
That's fine.
They do reshoots on everything, and they also bring in editors to work on everything, is my understanding. And this understanding comes from Kevin Smith from working with them. He said that they do not let you edit your own movie if you're a director, and they always plan for reshoots.
Oh God. Oh, it's terrible. Well, so specifically with this movie.
But this movie obviously went fucking
way beyond that.
Nuts. It's just awful.
Yeah. Well, and so it has to do with Batman v Superman. So Batman v Superman came out and got terrible response from critics, made a bunch of money, but got terrible response from critics and not very good response from the movie going audience. And so Warner Brothers freaked out. The executives freaked out. And they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We got to change Suicide Squad. And then the Suicide Squad, I think it was the second trailer came out. That was the Bohemian Rhapsody. It was much more upbeat, much funnier, and people loved it, right? And so the Warner Brothers executives went, okay, we need to change the tone of this movie.
I just knocked my mic over. Sorry.
Okay.
And I had to restart it because I couldn't talk for a second.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I'm just going to let you go back to what you're saying. But also, Bohemian Rhapsody was the first trailer. The second one was...
was it?
I think so. Okay, the second one was the Ballroom Blitz and
right.
I'm Not Your Toy, that whatever that one is.
Yeah.
Cover of an older song. Go ahead.
Okay, so that actually makes more sense. So it was specifically the Bohemian Rhapsody, but I guess all the trailers, both the beginning ones, they're upbeat, they were kind of funnier, they had the pop music, and those went over really well. People really liked those a lot. But however, they didn't match the tone of the film. Like the film that David Ayer made was not those at all, which is kind of, I was like, why did you make them then? Anyway. But so what those Warner Brothers
trailers are never made by anyone like even vaguely involved in the movie.
Which is just fucking brilliant.
They're made by somebody who knows how to make trailers and whose job is making trailers, and
which is probably why they all look so similar now.
But also sometimes they get stuff like I've heard people who make those trailers complain before, and they're like, they made us use like specific footage or put in specific jokes, and we didn't want to do that. We're like, this is not like a good idea for what your film is. Like, if you just give us the film, we'll cut a good trailer for you. And if you make us do again. They get fucked by producers too, just like everybody else.
Yeah. Well, and that's really kind of my takeaway for this whole thing. Like everything with DC movies so far has been fuck Warner Brothers executives.
Warner Brothers executives are like panicking because shit's not doing well. And then
but it's because of them. It's because they're fucking with the visions of the directors that they hired. That's why. It's so ridiculous. So what they did is they went back and they did all these reshoots, which, like you said, they had scheduled for reshoots. They did more. Like I think they did double or triple whatever they had originally scheduled for or planned for. And then they had a separate team come in and re-edit the version of the film that David Ayer had. And then they tested both with audiences, their edit and David Ayer's edit. And then they mixed those edits together to make the end result.
It's real badly edited. They could have just gotten out all the character introduction scenes because all of them get some sort of introduction at some point.
Yep.
Or
don't deserve an introduction.
Yeah, the introduction scene for Croc we should totally talk about the character that does those, that is narrating, the main villain and also protagonist and also the person
what's her name?
I
can't remember her name.
Amanda Waller. There it is. She's a real good character. Holy shit. Anyway.
Oh my God. Yeah, she is.
So moving on. Sorry. We'll come back to that in a minute. When she's given the introduction for Croc, she's like, oh yeah, he's locked in that prison that you've already seen. And then here's a shot of him beating up some guards that are inexplicably in the prison room with him. Why are they there? Who knows? I don't know. Probably they cut this scene from some other scene where it made sense. And then they just dropped it in here. But then when they go to get him out to assemble the squad, they show basically that scene just again, but it's obviously not exactly the same scene, but it's just some guards going into his room and then he kills one of them. and they like kick, and he kicks the shit out of a bunch of them.
Well, and then again, at the end of the movie, when he's swimming underwater, he kills one of the guards there, and no real explanation. And then he just comes up like nothing happened, and everyone's like totally cool. It's like, you definitely didn't just murder one of these people underwater. Did he kill one of the? What?
I really had a hard time telling what was going on in that scene. Who did he kill?
I would just one of the two guys that he was with for some reason. Like there wasn't any logic. Like he just did it, and then he took the bomb thing, and put it where it was supposed to go. Like I don't even understand why he killed the one guy. Like the one guy wasn't hurting him. They were already working together, and they had kind of earned each other's respect by that point.
Well, why
the fuck did he do that?
Set off the bomb.
Right,
and
because Croc like got out, and I guess one of the guards
was like fighting 4 dudes so that way that guy could swim on. He was fighting some of those weird eyeball faces.
Oh wait, maybe that's what it was. Maybe they were weird eyeball face characters.
Way
and I
too
that,
dark and hard to tell what was going on. Yeah, he was definitely holding off like 4 dudes, and he was like, "Go!" Also,
okay, that makes more sense than what I remember.
Again, I'm gonna blame this on that movie. It looks real crappy. Like it's pretty crap looking, and it looks like they put just a real shitty filter on everything to make it look real shitty.
Well, and then all the special effects at the end, like for the witch, looked so bad.
I don't
like
think
her head was clearly disconnected from the rest of her body. Like what in the hell?
I went back and watched Deadpool after this film. I was like, I need to go watch Deadpool because I think that is kind of the most comparable other comic book film. Sort of, vaguely. Deadpool also has like wildly changing tone. Sometimes it's just joking around, like and sometimes it's real dark and serious, and it's real violent. Deadpool should just be PG-13 though, and this movie should be R. Like I don't understand.
So specifically, why do you think this movie should be R? I'm curious. I totally agree, but I'm curious.
It has too many wildly unpleasant scenes, and they're real like Joker's like, kill yourself for me, would you? Or something. And then he's like, I guess that's probably, I love her, so I'll just jump into. And we'll jump into this vat of whatever the fuck this is. I've decided that it's super bleach. It's absolutely non-toxic super bleach.
Well, right,
is what it
they're
is.
not in any pain at all. Like she falls in there and it's like goo. It's like
it seems fine. But all the color runs out of their clothes, so it's a new form of non-toxic super bleach.
Right, because they then kiss each other and they're perfectly fine.
And no one has like acid scars all over their face afterwards or whatever.
Nope.
Like it's not acid. Clearly, it's just something. And I guess it made her skin whiter. Maybe,
but only sort of, because like you can see cracks, like you can see that it's clearly makeup. Like I
don't know about that. It might just be. I kind of thought that was maybe just an inconsistent effect or something, or I don't know. Anyway, her lipstick smear bothered me the whole movie. Not in any serious way. I just really wanted to like wipe it and fix it. It just I was like,
hey Harley, you just got it a little bit right there.
Like you just want to, because it was fine at first, and then they have like an action scene or something. Somehow it gets smeared during the film, and then it stays smeared, which is cool for continuity. Bad for just making me be like,
OCD.
Just fix it. Croc was good too. I liked Croc a lot. He has like 5 lines in the whole film, and he was good. Did we lose track of something that we were talking about?
Well, I want to go back to Harley Quinn really quick for a second, because while like there are a lot of things that I don't like about Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is my least favorite thing about the movie. Toward the end of the film, I really like where they went with her character. Like as soon as they started introducing the fact that she wasn't just this one note, make fun of everything, like super crazy for no reason character, she was actually a human being, and like she was introspective, and like she was sitting there with the, like almost crying, you know what I mean? Like that I thought I was like, okay, that's awesome. Like that's really compelling. The problem that I had is that goes completely counter to everything to do with her relationship with the Joker. Like that made her relationship with the Joker make even less sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I was like, why would what? Like, because he doesn't have any of that. Like he has no internal monologue. He has no, like, there's no secondary anything to him. He's very one note, which I did think was an interesting reversal of like gender roles, where
Yeah.
Harley Quinn being the woman is much more nuanced and deep, and she's a full character and all that kind of stuff. And the Joker is very one note, very, very sexualized because he's fucking half naked during the whole thing.
The only thing he's about in that movie is that he's Harley Quinn's love interest.
Yes.
That's the only thing he's about.
That's the only thing he does. Yeah.
And I think that's at least positive. That's at least a positive thing.
Yeah.
And again, Amanda Waller, fucking
oh God, that's
crazy, just ridiculous character,
but not a bad guy.
Oh, like she's
not clearly
worst.
good, not clearly bad.
No, she's clearly bad.
Nuanced, layered. You know what I mean? Like her ultimate goal is good, but she's this like chaotic neutral agent.
Yeah. She probably would say that she's chaotic good, but she's so like, I don't even know. Anyway, that's part of a good character, that they think that they're doing the right thing, even if you're like, I don't think you are though. Like
you just killed 8 people in cold blood for like helping you.
And I think I might also be editing in a little bit of what I know about Harley Quinn and the Joker, like backstory. Because I mean, traditionally, Harley Quinn is super, super smart. She acts ditzy and she does all that stuff. But like, that's not what she's like before she falls in love with the Joker.
Well, and see, that's something else that bothered me too, is they didn't put any of that in there.
Yeah. So they just had him shock her brain, and then she's crazy now.
And dumb. Like, not totally dumb. Like,
I don't think she's
good at fighting, but she didn't do anything intelligent.
Yeah. I'm just making the assumption that other stuff is also in this, kind of like is backstory and is supposed to be taken as like, you remember, probably. We'll just go on. And I think some of it could have been explicitly put in this thing, and they should have just taken out the shocking the brain moment. But that it's basically like the Joker convinces her that life is shit kind of thing, that it's all a joke. Like he convinces her philosophically to kind of join him.
And then that would be compelling.
Yeah.
That I think would be awesome.
Well, and again, both these characters still exist. I kind of feel like this is setting up an interesting universe for the DC universe, even if this film isn't that great. Like a lot of things that are happening in this are real interesting and have real interesting implications for the rest of the universe. But yeah, Amanda Waller, just fucking. I'm sorry, we're still talking about Harley Quinn. I just want to go on to Amanda Waller because she's great.
No, yeah, it's fine. Go
ahead. Just fucking shooting 3 dudes who work for her. Just just like they don't have clearance.
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
And Rick Flag's, and she's like, "Are you judging me, Rick Flag?" And he's like, "I'm just glad I have clearance." Like, just all right, let's move along.
And I thought that was really interesting because they had I thought that was a good kind of subtle, like empowering thing, because they'd very much set whoever the Rick Flag or Flair, whatever the fuck his name was, Rick Flag, who I always wanted to call him Rick Flair, who's a wrestler. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But like they had set his character up to be like good. You know what I mean? Like he's pissed off and he's going along with some bad shit, but he's a good character, you know? Yeah. And he's very powerful, and like even though they don't want to, he earns the respect of all the characters on the Suicide Squad. Yeah. Like, they realize that while he's a dick, he's a good guy and he knows what the fuck he's doing, and he's not out to hurt them for no reason. And that character then clearly becomes subordinate and fucking terrified of Amanda Waller.
Yeah,
like
everybody.
He's like, I'm not going to fuck with you. Like, I just saw you do something really bad and illegal and whatever, but just do your thing.
People with superpowers. She's fighting them. She's fucking intimidated. She shoulder checks Croc.
Yes.
That was amazing. I was like, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And Croc's like, I like her. Like, that's great. She's like, no, I'm in charge. Fuck you guys. I'm not at all concerned about this. Like, and then, and then she, whatchamacallit? Frick. I'm losing all track of all my things this episode. It's because this movie is such a mess. It's hard to keep it straight in my brain. And
so some of these, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Some of these moments are really good too. Like, you can see how we go up and down. We're like, remember that part? That part was awesome. Remember that part? It was the worst fucking thing. Yep. So yeah.
Yep. Well, and then like the Australian guy, I guess, the boomerang. What the fuck was he doing there? Like,
I'm
really?
Disappointed.
I had no idea why he was there. Like, he didn't contribute anything. He didn't even really say anything of substance at any point.
I was about to say, I was saving it for the end of this, but I was going to, at the end, just be like, and you know what the worst fucking thing about this movie was? Captain Boomerang didn't throw any goddamn boomerangs.
Nothing came back. Not once.
Well, that's how, I mean, one of them sticks in somebody's head and the other one, he only throws boomerangs twice in the film. Once it sticks in a guy's neck and kills him. And the second time it's a boomerang with a camera on it and it gets blown up.
But it never turns around. Boomerangs fucking turn around. None of them turn around.
Boomerangs don't really turn around. Not so much. Only trick boomerangs really turn around.
Well, but I mean, that's the idea, though.
I mean,
you throw them when they come back.
Okay, to be fair, the comic book idea of boomerangs. I wanted to see him fucking pinging boomerangs off walls and hitting shit in the back of the head. Like, I wanted to see that character, and I wanted to see him having trick boomerangs that do shit. Yep. He doesn't do fucking anything with those boomerangs. He just stabs a couple of people while holding a boomerang. That is actually just a knife, not a boomerang. Like, at this point, it's nonsense. And I like Captain Boomerang as a character. He's hilarious. And he's hilarious. Part of the joke is that he fucking is an effective villain, even though he just uses boomerangs. Like, that's one of the reasons why he works as a character. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, haha, he uses boomerangs and then he like kills a dude. And you're like, oh shit. Like, what? And then he's like, I've built this giant boomerang. And then, you know, like wrecks something with it. Like, that's kind of the thing. It's like a joke character, but it's because he's effective that he's actually funny. If he doesn't do anything, great. Like, I didn't expect you to do anything, and then you didn't do anything. There's no joke there. If you don't expect him to do something, and then he defies your expectations and does something, it's funny. If it just goes straight, it's not funny. Anyway.
Yep. Well, yeah, so I think
when he comes back at the end, for no reason, I'm pretty sure that they cut a scene out because they have that fucking unicorn throughout the whole thing that keeps getting shown like it's important. And it turns out it has money in it. And I thought for sure at the end he was going to walk away and then somebody was going to be like, and like, here's your unicorn. And he's going to be like, shit, God damn it. And he's going to have to come back.
Yeah.
Thought for sure. But it just didn't. He just walked back into the scene. Yep. And the other thing that I was expecting to happen at the very end, when they're all going around asking for stuff, I thought for sure when they got to Croc and there's like a little moment of tension, I thought for sure he was going to ask for a date with Amanda Waller.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
Wouldn't it? I thought
my God, that would have been
amazing. And I thought he was going to do it. And that also would have been like, that's why he came back. Like, he's like, he's got the hots for her. And
that's so much better than asking for BET.
Yeah. It totally plays too. Like, I think those characters, like, I can totally see that relationship.
Oh yeah.
Where she's like, I'll fucking kill a dude. And Croc's like, I love that you'd fucking kill a dude. Like, that's amazing.
Well, because he's literally cold-blooded and she's metaphorically cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think him coming back too is not as bad as Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang character. Like, he comes back, but also he doesn't really seem to give a shit about anything at any point in this film. He's like, I'm just here to fucking stab things and like beat people up. Like, it's fun.
I just want to hurt things.
Kind of having fun here. Jai Courtney's character just wants to leave the whole time, and then he comes back with no reason. And again, there must be a scene somewhere where they explain that.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, like, if I had to choose one sentence, and this just kept coming back to me over and over and over again when I was watching the movie, if I had to pick one sentence to describe this movie, it would be Much Ado About Nothing. Like, the movie is just like, it builds up to all these things, or it sets up all these things, and then just nothing happens with them. Yeah. And then, like, the main villains in the movie, you know, the witch who inexplicably for some reason ends up double crossing Amanda Waller and her boyfriend, and that didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me at all.
Double crossing, it's not inexplicable at all.
Well,
why is that inexplicable?
Well, okay, so they set her up as, I guess, being part of the Suicide Squad, maybe. I didn't really understand.
She was
that
supposed
to
be part of the Suicide Squad.
Well, and then she just left.
She just left. Because she's super powerful. And Amanda Waller. Because she doesn't want to be imprisoned and controlled by Amanda Waller?
Then why didn't she just leave before?
Because Amanda Waller had her heart. And she needed, remember, because Amanda Waller just goes and is like, all right, you're dead now. And then because she's released her brother and been able to do that.
When did she release her brother? Oh, that was her
brother is able to keep her alive until she gets that heart back. So she just needed that one thing to happen before to get that chance to escape. She was just waiting on that, and then she got it eventually, and then she escaped.
I got you. Okay, so I guess my issue with all of that was that there was no reason for any of that setup. You know what I mean? If how to put it, if we had seen a little bit of backstory for the witch, saying what she was before, and then she got beat or whatever, because she talks about like humanity, like she hates humanity, like they betrayed her or something later on in the film. But I think if that had been explained or shown a little bit before she betrayed Amanda Waller, then that whole thing would have made sense, because to me it just felt like this contrived thing, like a plot. Like they just needed somebody to fight, and they thought she would be a good one, so they just did it. But that was it. There was no further logic beyond. Well, she's evil, so she's evil. But all the other characters are evil as well. Yeah. So why is she the one who goes off and doesn't do the thing that none of them want to do? I
found her destroying the world. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. It was just she's I'm going to destroy the world because fuck it. But also,
humanity saw us as gods, and so we're going to destroy them. Wait, what? Why? What?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think she really needs an explanation for trying to escape her literal enslavement. She's literally enslaved. She doesn't need an explanation for trying to get out of that.
But they're all enslaved. They're literally enslaved by Amanda Waller to do this thing.
They all want to escape, more or less. But she just has a chance, and she takes it.
Okay, but they all had a chance.
Yeah, but then they don't
didn't take it
because they're going to stop the world from being destroyed. Because fuck it, they live in it.
Well, right, but
or whatever,
and that's fine. That's why I said I think that just putting a little bit of backstory for the witch before all that happened would have made that make a little bit more sense to me. Does that make sense?
I really wish her backstory wasn't just her narrating some shit. That was dumb. That's just really boring and nothing. I don't think it matters for her escaping, though. I don't think you need any real context for that. Amanda Waller's terrible and frightening, and you don't want to be enslaved by her. Like, that's it.
Well, but again, Amanda Waller's motives are good. And like the only reason that the Suicide Squad gets called out is because this witch is doing bad shit. You know what I mean?
But Amanda Waller also caused that. She is the cause and like the solution to everything that happens in this movie.
Oh, right. Yes, absolutely. And that's fine. What I'm saying is I don't think that the movie justified the witch trying to escape, and the witch another thing is too, why would the witch double cross this girl's boyfriend? What did he ever do to her? Nothing. He didn't do anything to her. Why would she make him some innocent pawn in this whole thing, which she did? Why would she do that?
What do you mean?
So the double cross happened when they gave her that bomb, right? And they wanted her to go and like set it off next to her brother or whatever, right? That's when she actually double crossed. Well, why would she do that? Because she actually did it with her boyfriend, who had only ever been good to her. You know what I mean?
Well,
and that's where I think more explanation for the witch would have helped. Because at that point, I was more focusing on the human being who we got zero story for. Like I don't even remember her name.
June Moon.
She was like, what's that?
June Moon. I'm surprised June that you forgot that because it's June Moon. Yeah, that's
that's a good alliteration.
No, she does that because he holds power over her. At least this is...
He does?
Yeah, he holds power over her because he holds power over June Moon.
So and see, that would have been good, I think, if they had explained that, because I didn't make that connection. The only connection that I made was that the guy was dating June Moon, I guess. He didn't know anything about this witch character until, I guess, like she went to do this thing with the bomb, because that was a surprise to him. And
he knows about her previous to that, like the whole time.
Really?
They narrate it. They're like, how are you controlling the witch? And then he's like, well, because I sent Rick Flag to guard her because of what's going on, and it anticipated that Rick Flag would fall in love with June Moon, who's the other side of her. And that
but I didn't think that Rick Flag knew that June Moon was the witch. That's why he fell in love with her. He thought she was just a person.
No, I don't think so. Because he's not surprised in the boardroom where she transforms into the witch.
Well, he sees that when there's the bomb. And that's part of that whole scene that I thought was like hard for him, because he realized, wait a second, this isn't the girl. Like, there's more to this woman than I thought, and I want to make sure that she's okay and safe because I really care about her. You know what I mean?
No,
but Amanda Waller double crossed Rick Flag as well because she used him as a pawn because he didn't know what was going on with the witch. That's what I was thinking.
I think he knew.
And that's why the double cross didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Because the bomb shit happens after that boardroom meeting.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Because the initial boardroom meeting,
I just didn't put that together. You're right.
Is just establishing Task Force X. And then they have a boardroom meeting
though.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He's like chaperoning her because she's the witch.
Oh,
like,
no, you're right. You're right.
That's his job.
Right. So, and that's when he realizes that she's more than just a You're right. You're right. Okay. I remembered that wrong. Okay.
Well, I think he knew before that too, because I think that was because he has the files on everybody too. He's seen all the files and read them. Like we see that scene earlier in the film too, where he's like, these people are insane. Why do we have these people? I could just get you a bunch of not insane commandos.
But then why would he fall in love with someone who's possessed by some 6,000-year-old witch?
Why does anyone fall in love with anyone?
Fair question.
I mean,
fair question.
But also,
I guess just that one specific plot thread to me just really didn't hold up.
I do have a serious question though. Why don't they just get commandos?
That's something I was wondering.
So I understand why Deadshot's on the team. I understand why El Diablo's on the team. I guess I can understand why Croc's on the team. Why the fuck is Harley Quinn on the team?
Yeah, she's like, other than beating the shit out of guards, like she's never done anything.
They could have just gotten a guy who's real good at martial arts and it would have had the exact same effect.
Yes.
They could have just gotten a military guy who's real good at martial arts. And fucking Captain Boomerang doesn't do shit anyway. They could have just gotten a guy who doesn't do shit. And they could have gotten just like pulled a random guy off the street and he'd have done like as much stuff as Captain Boomerang does.
And those people are all used to plausible deniability situations. Like they're used to things like that. You know,
and to be fair, they did bring some other commandos. They like had commandos with them in addition.
That's true. Yeah.
But seriously, why is Captain Boomerang on the team? It doesn't make any sense. He's just harder to control and doesn't really bring anything.
Yeah. And
at least Harley Quinn is real good at martial arts. Like,
yeah, but how and why? Like, that's another problem that I had with her is she was like, they never established where any of that skill came from. You know what I mean? Like, she was a psychologist, right? PhD, really smart. And then she gets shocked by the Joker. And then she's in prison and apparently doing stripper shit with her bed sheets. And now she's some kind of fucking ninja? Like, what? Why? What?
Suspension of disbelief, which was ruined by the other shit in this movie. If the other shit wasn't terrible.
I cannot suspend it that far.
Yeah, if the other shit wasn't terrible, I feel like you might not have noticed that. Yeah, like if other things weren't pulling you out of it, you'd just been like, yeah, this is comic books. Lots of people know martial arts. That's just how comic books work. Why does the Boomerang guy, why is he better at punching people than he is at boomerangs, even though boomerangs are just one? I'm going to keep coming back to that because I'm real disappointed because I was really excited that Captain Boomerang was in this and then he was just dumb and useless.
Yep.
And whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. Although one thing that I really like a lot, and I just this actually has given me a lot of respect for Ben Affleck, especially knowing what I know outside of this movie, like how much this universe and Batman in particular means to him. Yeah, the fact that Ben Affleck, the fact that Ben Affleck was in this movie and that he portrayed Batman the way that he did, and especially in the stinger at the end. Did you watch the stinger at the end?
I love that scene. Again,
oh my God, that was by far, I think, the best part of the movie. So fucking amazing.
I love that. Oh yeah, Amanda Waller's like at the end. She's like, you look tired, Mr. Wayne. You should stop working nights. And he turns around like, what? And then, but it's only for a second that he's like, what? And then he's like, your little project, shut it down or me and my friends will. Like, it's great.
Because he knows that she knows. It's fucking brilliant. Oh my God, I love it.
He knows that she knows, but also he's like the only person in this whole film who's like, I will not take your shit. Listen to me. I'm fucking Batman. I'm not doing this with you.
Yes. And he gets his ass handed to him by all the Suicide Squad people in the rest of the movie. And then he ends up, it's amazing. And then the Flash is in the movie too. And I liked the Flash's scene. I thought that was really good.
It was real good. And I was like, oh, great. That's real cool too. Because Captain Boomerang is traditionally the Flash's villain.
Ah, yeah. Very nice. I didn't know that. That's a good little touch.
That's why he's there. Nice. He's part of the Rogues. Very nice. The Flash's villains. Yeah. And he's like, haha. And I was like, that's like the comics that I know about. That's cool. And then I was like, what the fuck is some of this other shit though? Why is this?
Why is all this other garbage here? Yeah. So I am legitimately interested, really hoping that they come out with like a David Ayer cut or like a director's cut or something. That. Yeah.
You know what I really want to see?
What it was supposed to be. What's that?
You know what I really, really want to see like 20 years from now? the eventual documentary about these DC films.
Oh God, yes.
Where they're like,
how the Warner Brothers executives fucked over the DC universe.
All the stuff that'll come out where they'll be interviewing the actors and they'll be like, I didn't even know what was happening. We kept getting called back and they kept changing the script. Like we had a different script every day. Like it was nuts. And
all the writers and directors will be like, we were so exasperated and we were just so frustrated. We're like, what the fuck is going on?
And they're interviewing executives and executives are like, the internet hated everything that we did. And we kept trying to please internet people who are real upset and nothing worked. Like nothing worked. We couldn't change it enough and we couldn't get anything. And like the whole, like that'll probably be really interesting when that comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think too, like beyond just this movie, I think like the difference, at least in the cinematic world, I can't talk about the comic world, but at least in the cinematic world, the difference, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that tie into this, but the difference between the Marvel approach and the DC approach is really profound. Like it's pretty incredible. And I think it's important to point out too that like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is far from Marvel's first attempt at making movies based on their comics. Yeah. They fucked that shit up for decades. Like, oh my God. I remember watching a Captain America movie, Spider-Man movies that were shit. Like even for the time, they were utter garbage.
That Captain America movie where he steals all the cars.
Oh, I'm trying to. I think that might be the one. Like his costume was garbage. His shield was garbage. Like everything about the movie was just garbage.
Came out in the late '80s, early '90s, and he keeps hitchhiking and then just stealing the guy's car. Like just like, I'll take your car now.
You're like, a lot of that was a lot of the same shit that DC is dealing with now because Marvel didn't have the clout back then to say, no, we have our own studio. This is how we're going to do it. Right. Yeah. And so they were very much at the whim of film executives, and the film executives were saying, no, this is what people want. You can't just you can't take what's in your comics and put it on screen. You can't do that. And at the time, technically, they were correct. I mean, like the special effects weren't there and all that kind of stuff. But beyond that, the themes of the stories are like people don't want to see that. And they were just wrong. They were completely and totally wrong. But I think something very similar is happening with DC, where it seems, and I could be wrong on this, but it seems that DC is not taking a heavy enough hand with the storytelling and saying, no, we control the story. This is what we want to tell, and this is how it should go. Instead, they're giving control not just to the writers and the directors, but to the movie executives. Yeah. And maybe like you were saying earlier, maybe it's specifically because it's Warner Brothers and this is just how Warner Brothers works. But executives are driving the films instead of creative people. And I think this is a great case study in why you don't let business people do creative endeavors, because you get shit like this. That's it. That's my soapbox.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that sounded. The reason I'm quiet is because I'm like, that sounds pretty reasonable. Like I'm not even sure I have anything to add to that. That's just, it's just bad. I don't know. Jeff Johns is supposed to be taking more creative control over things.
Oh, good.
In the future. Not everything Jeff Johns does is amazing, but it's fine.
Well, I mean, not all the Marvel movies have been amazing either. I mean, he really Avengers 2 wasn't spectacular.
Yeah. Jeff Johns made Hal Jordan like a huge Mary Sue character. I don't like Hal Jordan. My friend who's may or may not listen to this episode is going to be like, fuck you. Hal Jordan is the best. Sorry. He's not the best. What's his name? John Smith is better. John Smith? Gosh dang. Am I getting this name wrong? John Stewart.
I can't even tell you.
John Stewart is the better.
He's good on the Daily Show. I know that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, something else too is I'm trying to hold out hope for future DC movies.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the previews I saw for Aquaman looked fucking awesome. Wait,
you saw a preview for Aquaman?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Did you see a preview for Wonder Woman before the film?
Oh my God, that looks so good.
Oh, it looked real bad to me.
What? Oh, yeah. You are objectively wrong on that. I'm sorry. That looks so good.
It looked too sad World War I movie to me.
Ooh, okay. I hadn't thought about it like that.
I wanted to see more like Wonder Woman being high adventure times. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think this is a universe where you're ever going to get that.
Fine. That's real disappointing. You know what? I really love Wonder Woman's theme from these films. The
music. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I love that they're keeping that. Like the Wonder Woman theme, it's the same. Because, dude, she totally took over Batman v Superman. Like, as soon as she showed up and her theme music was playing, I'm like, this is her movie now. Yeah. It's done.
All the music's real good. The music is good in this film. The music was good in Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you like the music in this?
All the non-pop music, yes.
Oh, I liked some of the pop music too.
I just didn't think it fit. I mean, really, that's what bugged me. I think really didn't think it fit. That segment
didn't fit real well. I thought a lot of it fit. They did some of the pop music was themes to the character. Actually, when they did those first ones, I thought they were going to bring back those pop songs as like recurring themes.
If they had done that, that would have been cool.
That would have been cooler.
Yeah, but you know what? That's actually a really good point. I think it was the fact that they were one off. That's why they felt out of place to me. If they had even brought back like just riffs or themes or whatever throughout the movie, I think that would have been much better.
The You Don't Own Me for Harley Quinn is very good.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought, what is it? Oh, the one for Croc was amazing.
Oh, I don't remember.
It made me laugh a little bit. I thought it was really good. It's Natural Born Son.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like a kind of country tune about how the narrator is he wasn't naturally born a wealthy person. He doesn't have any of the advantages, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and it's Croc. I was like, that works for him. Actually,
I can see that.
I was not expecting a country kind of thing, but actually, I'm kind of on board with that. That seems good. Totally. Deadpool's real good in this movie.
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I like Deadshot.
Will Smith is real good. Everybody gets a chance to in the bar scene. Everybody gets a really good chance to talk about their character backstory and reveal the really sad thing about them and their life. And that was really good.
Yeah. Oh
that
my
was
God.
One of the good parts. And
that's where El Diablo fucking stole the movie, I thought.
Yeah. El Diablo. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Because before that, I was like, he seems good. He's the only one. He's like, I'm not going to fucking kill anybody. I'm done. And then when he's like, this is why, you're like, oh my God, El Diablo, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And what was cool is all of them were like that too. Yeah. Because before that, they were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, you're a
Kill
bad
everyone.
guy. Do your thing. You breathe fucking fire. Do it. And they're like, whatever. And then they hear that and they're like, oh. And I love the fact that the movie didn't back down from that story. Because I was like, if you're going to be so fucking ballsy as to show all this other bullshit and do all this other bad stuff, and you're going to pull back from that, no. And then it didn't. And I was like, okay, this character matters. This character has weight.
And Jai Courtney, Captain Boomerang's like, wait, what happened to the kids? And they're like, he fucking killed the kids. You're like, oh my God, that is so brutal. And then his whole story pays off too. And because when Enchantress tries to mind control him at the end, he's like, and it's what Harley Quinn says too in that scene. She's like, own that shit, which again, she used to be a psychologist. Did you remember that during that scene? Because I did.
Yep.
I was like, yep. All right. That's that thing that she does occasionally where she's like, I used to be a psychologist. I know mostly I just hit people now, but I still actually remember that. I was good at it.
That again, I thought was a really good character thing for her. You know what I mean? Because she was saying that just as much for her as she was for him.
Yeah. And then fucking he's like, Enchantress is like, your family, they're back. They love you. And he's like, no, this is not what happened. I fucking... I was in the theater. I was tearing up. I was like, oh my God.
Yep. Well, and then he does it to the other characters because Deadshot's like, I could kill the bat. And Harley's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, you can't have that. I know, because I can't have what I want. And I was like,
he even says,
fuck, dude.
He says, you don't want that. Which is even better. He's like, you don't want it. You think you do. But you don't want that life. You don't want to be the people who's killing people. I did that's a little joke where he's like, oh, I killed the bat. I want to kill the bat. And Harley's like, wait, no, that's me. I want to do that. She has that little moment.
Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Oh, where he's like, I killed the bat. And Harley's like, no, wait, I want to do that. I'm the one who wants to kill the bat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that was part of it, too, where I was like, maybe she's going to be more important than the Joker in this story.
I hope so.
That'd be interesting.
Because I really don't like Jared Leto's Joker. Can we just talk about that for a minute?
Hold on. Wait. I find Harley Quinn in this real annoying and real trashy and awful in a way that I've never found any of the previous Harley Quinns. They maximize the trashiness and the awfulness. And it's weird.
but she knows that she's doing it. Like that's the thing, is she knows. And I think the scene where she was getting dressed in the whatever, when she was putting her costume on.
Yeah.
That's where like she knew what the fuck she was doing.
She's like,
you know what I mean?
What? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But she's really awful, but it works, and she's funny, and like, I think it hits even though it's awful. And again, I feel like a lot of this movie was designed specifically to be awful and hard to watch.
Yeah, which I think honestly works. Like, because
and that's
especially
why,
in this version of the DC universe. Like, this version of the DC universe seems to be like much darker, you know? And so if you're gonna if Batman v Superman is gonna be as dark as it was and they're the good guys, how dark is a movie about the bad guys gonna be?
And I think that is something, that's why I said art house earlier, because it feels like it's really purposely designed to be terrible. like it seems like somebody sat down and was like, how can we make some of the most like how can we make this character real unlikable, like just terribly unlikable,
or like a noir film. I would say maybe more noir than art house, because when I think art house, I think, well, I guess maybe it does fit, like things that intentionally don't make sense, or that are like super like philosophical and crap, and I didn't really get a whole lot of that.
I don't mean like that kind of thing. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you get my drift.
yeah, totally. Because there's no good guys in the movie. There's absolutely no good guys.
I feel like I didn't see a whole lot of Leto's Joker, but I kind of liked it. I think it was a good choice to make him more clown prince of crime rather than like psychopath philosopher.
Yeah.
It's a good choice because it really it goes back to that character's roots as kind of like this joke gangster kind of character. And it distances itself from the previous Batman films, which had the amazing performance where everybody was like, how are we going to address the difference between these two performances? And they're like, we'll just make this one way, way different. Like, to the point where it's hard to compare them, because this Joker is he's a gangster. He's just sitting in nightclubs wearing lounge singer costumes with the shirt open and lots of chains and shit, and making deals with Common.
Yeah.
And then killing him for no reason.
At all.
And Common's like, no, please don't. I'm really uncomfortable now. Like, this is not. As that scene slowly goes south, and then and he's like, fucking Harley Quinn, this bad bitch. Baddest bitch in this movie, though, Amanda Waller.
Yep.
All right, so, but I thought it worked. I thought it mostly worked on the play between him and Harley. Like, he's not a character without Harley Quinn in this film.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, and maybe that's what, like, so aside, and I guess this is kind of a thing. Outside of Harley Quinn, I have no idea why the Joker's in this movie.
Yep.
And I think that was the thing, is that they initially, like, leading up to the film, they really played up Jared Leto's Joker.
And I think that was just because you remember the Joker. Like, he's a character that everyone knows. Not everybody knows Harley Quinn. Nerds know Harley Quinn. People who know nerds probably know Harley Quinn, but not just the general movie-going public. They know the Joker because he's been in all the movies before.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Yes, and I think that makes sense. I just think it was a poor decision.
Yep, like all the marketing for this movie was a poor decision.
Yeah,
just all of it, just everything. Oh, except for the poster. Actually, my girlfriend just bought a copy of the movie poster for this. The movie poster is just really well done. It's a really good poster.
Yeah. Well, and like I love the logo. I love all the coloring and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that stuff was really cool.
That stuff fits the movie better, like a lot better. And when you look at that logo and it's like all skulls and shit, and I saw that after doing the film, I was like, that actually makes more sense. And like, that logo is pretty dark, like, and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so I guess, like, and that's, well, I mean, as I'm sure you guys can tell now, like, this movie is all over the map. And that's why in the beginning, like, we both were really struggling to come up with one thing to say about it, because there are things about it that are really, really good, and there are things about it that are really, really bad.
Yep.
And as much as I blame Warner Brothers executives, which I totally do, one of the reasons that I want to see the David Ayer cut is I want to see the movie the way as it was originally intended, because I want to see how much of the garbage was actually him. You know what I mean? I mean, because there's a chance, probably a pretty good chance, that some of the stuff that I didn't like was actually supposed to be in the movie to begin with.
But it's also possible that you would have liked some of that stuff if it had supporting material around it that contextualized it and made it make sense.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
Like I bet that shocking scene where he just tortures her was in it originally. That seems like part of the very much darker shit that was in it before. But maybe there was some explanation about what was happening there. Like maybe there was more
what you
of
said.
that.
Like if the Joker like convinced her intellectually to do something, and then she said, "Yes, I want you to do this to me." Or that'd be totally different than what I saw in the movie. Because what I saw in the movie was him like tying her down against her will and doing that shit to her, and that's like no.
If he shocked her and then she just under her breath went like, "Oh fuck yes," like afterwards. Like you'd be like, oh, this is different than I thought it was.
Exactly.
I'll just leave now. You guys can be alone. I do think that
some you time.
There's going to be a lot of fucking like weird fetishization of that relationship, and sort of weird, but also sort of. I feel like that's how it was built. Like people are going to be there. Well,
they're both completely nuts. Yeah. So I think that
But also, like, the power dynamic is going to make a lot of people be like, yes, yes.
See, for me, it just can't. Because for me, there is no power dynamic. It's just an abusive relationship where the Joker is just abusing Harley Quinn.
No, there's lots of Tumblrs where people are like, yes, abusive relationships. Yes.
Dude, but that's just gross.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to. It doesn't even matter. It's not my fucking. It's not my whatever. Jerk off material.
Sorry. I don't mean to say that they're wrong. I just mean to say that for me, especially so I'm thinking about this in the context of having a daughter.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm thinking about it in the context of I don't want her to think that that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want her to think that it's okay for a guy to be abusive to her.
Yeah.
And that's the big reason that this bothers me.
Mm-hmm. I bet that fucking, Will Smith stuff. I can't even remember his character's name. I'm just going to keep saying Will Smith.
Deadshot.
Every time I'm like, dead.
Well, I mean, he did have a red suit. That was, yeah.
His whole daughter stuff was real touching. Again,
yes, that was really good.
You're like, he cares about his daughter so much. I did question why the fuck that, he has such a clear lever to manipulate him. Why don't they just be like, you know what? We'll fucking take care of your daughter. You're still us. You're ours, but we're going to make sure your daughter's okay. And if you don't do what we say, we put a bomb in your daughter. How about that, motherfucker?
I'll tell you why. Because that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because he would kill all of them instantly. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Or not even that. Just be like, we'll take care of your daughter if you do what we say. And if you don't, we won't. And also we'll kill you. It seems like he has such a good carrot to him that he should be he's easier to manipulate than these other people.
Yeah. Well,
and they don't leverage it at all.
Yeah. And actually, I've seen that carrot enough in movies.
Okay,
and again, this is the dad part of me coming out. You know what I mean? I really don't like seeing that in movies. I don't like seeing kids used like that. And so I'm glad because they had a good carrot, and they sort of kind of did that because all that he wanted was for his daughter to be taken care of. Yeah. He wanted, money for school and all that kind of stuff. And he kept saying several times that that's what he wanted and that's what his payment was going to be. And they kept saying, okay, but no. Okay, but no.
Yeah.
And so in a sense, they were doing that, but they weren't using violence against her as a carrot.
They don't have to necessarily use the violence. You can skip the violence part.
Yes.
But just use they kind of do once, and then he's like, nah. I'm not going to take it, though.
When was that?
When Amanda Waller asked him to kill Harley Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then she's like, all right, look, you're a hitman. Here's the deal. I'll pay you.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm actually glad you brought up that thing about his daughter because that was something that I really liked about it, too. Yeah. While there were things that just didn't make any sense at all in the movie, I thought there were some story elements that I'm really glad they didn't take the easy road out on.
I hope.
And another one was the Flag character, that guy in general. He wasn't clear good, he wasn't clear bad. He clearly loved the woman in his life. But he was willing to sacrifice her for the greater good. Like that was, and I thought that was really powerful. I thought it was a little bit of a cop out where she didn't die at the end.
Oh yeah, I thought that was
but I'm glad that happened.
Huge cop out. I was like, yay. Also, but yay, I'm glad. I'm happy for you, Rick Flag, that didn't turn out. But also that was her wish. She was like, listen, if it's either saving the world or killing me, kill me. It's fine. Like that's what I want. Yeah.
Which I thought was a powerful thing for her to say. However, again, I'm kind of tired of seeing that in movies. You know, like women sacrificed for whatever thing. Like I'm just people in general. I'm just tired of seeing like people sacrificed for whatever. Like I want them to find a better way out of things.
Which they do. It's fine. It turns out that's not how that works. They didn't actually know magic that well. Surprise, because they're not magicians. So, and actually after that, I was like, why did they think that was going to kill her?
Because and that's another thing. I don't know. Just like the heart, I guess, because you saw Amanda Waller stab the heart, which I don't know how they would have learned that powered her to begin with.
But I mean, it's the Enchantress's heart, not June Moon's heart. That's the thing where I was like,
well, I think it was because the Enchantress took over her completely, and it seemed like
she switches back and forth. And if it just kills the Enchantress is an evil spirit inhabiting her. You'd think she'd just leave. Like,
but the Enchantress taking over June Moon, drains June Moon. It seemed to me they kind of set that precedent the first time that she changed. And then when she changed back, she's like, I don't ever want to do that again. Yeah. Like, don't ever let me do that again.
But also it could just, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just was like, that's an assumption that they made. It's an assumption that could have been true, but how'd they make that? How'd they arrive at that assumption? Like, why? Maybe the Enchantress was just like, if you kill me, you'll kill her at some point. Yeah, maybe just had that scene. Yeah, she'd been like, fucking kill me, you'll kill her. Bet you're not going to kill me now, huh? Suck it. But she's just totally bluffing.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, they're like, damn it, we could have killed you a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what happens at the end, actually, isn't it? She's like, you won't do it. And then he's like, all right, fine, I will. And then, so probably that is just what happened. Because she's going with it at the end. Yeah. So,
well, because they say that like, what's her name says that, and then she stabs the heart to try to kill her, or like at least try to wound her. So yeah. All
right, fine. We explained that one.
Yes, that's right.
We did explain. The other things we did not arrive at explanations for. We couldn't even decide what was happening in some scenes at all, even a little bit. So, exactly. So see this movie or don't. You know what? If this movie is available to you for free somehow, fucking go ahead. Sit down and watch it.
Anyway,
not piracy.
Not that we're endorsing piracy at all. In any way,
I would say
I just had a frog in my throat.
I would say don't pirate this movie.
Yeah, I would say no.
At least not I would immediately. It's for one thing, it's new, and everything that's new, if you're going to pirate it, there's more of a chance of you getting caught.
Well, and it really hurts the people who made it, like a lot. Like they make most of their money in the first. Well, actually, they make like 95% of all box office revenue is made in the first 3 weeks of a film's release. So if you're going to do it now, that's a big deal. I would, absolutely not.
I'd say,
and actually, after talking about this, I would actually recommend. I'm going to change my mind from earlier when I said that people not see this. I would actually recommend that people see it, just because, well, we vary so wildly. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, it's interesting just for dissecting it.
Yeah,
and just for
I
thinking
would say
about it.
Wait till it's in a second play theater, or you can rent it for like $3 or $4 on Amazon.
Yeah, there you go.
Or iTunes. Don't spend $25 on it, or whatever a movie costs these days.
I mean, unless, like if this is a decently sized movie, I mean, there's going to be people talking about it, and it's going to be like in the zeitgeist for a while. And if you want to be part of that, then watch it. If you want to be part of the discussion. If not, if that doesn't interest you, then I think Alex is totally right.
Or if you like a real gritty, like awful movie, like if that's your thing, you'll enjoy this. Yeah. and I know that is some people's thing. So.
Right. So that was our thoughts on Suicide Squad. All of them. We have no more. We're all out. So how are you feeling, Alex?
Yeah, sure. That was a thing that happened. That movie that us talking about that movie.
Yeah. I gotta say, I am pretty amazed that there was so much discussion that the discussion got as intense as it did. I was not expecting that, to be completely honest. I'm gonna see it again, but not until it's less expensive, and then have to reevaluate my feelings on it. I'm not gonna see it again in theaters. Also, I went to a theater with this is just a little side story, with like those super reclining chairs. So they have like big electric heated recliners that you can just basically end up like laying down while you're watching the film. And I was like, this is pretty cool. But then when I got up at the end of the film to leave, I didn't have my car keys anymore. Oh no.
And the chair had eaten my car keys and I couldn't fucking find it. And also we had sat in two different spots in the theater.
What?
Because so the theater was like sold out. And we went in to see it and we got real terrible seats. Front row all the way to the side. Like you could barely see the screen.
Oh yeah.
And then when the movie started, like half the seats were empty and we're like, let's just go grab one of those seats that no one is in.
Wait, what? Why were people like, fuck these previews? We're not watching this movie. Like, what happened?
I mean, people just didn't come in. There were just a bunch of seats empty left.
That's so weird. The same thing happened at for our thing. Like when we got there, all the tickets were sold out, but like half the theater was empty.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I assume people reserve them, especially for movies like this, way in advance, and then maybe forget about them, or see reviews and then don't go see it, or just something happens.
I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, this is the kind of thing that you could have reserved like 8 months ago, maybe.
Yeah. So, if I paid the money, I'm going to watch the fucking movie.
Anyway,
I'm not going to waste my money.
So we switched seats, and we had to look through both seats and be like, where did these keys go? And I was like, what if somebody walked by and they were like on the ground by the seat, and they're like, keys to a car.
Free car.
I'm gonna go outside and click these and take that car. I was like, oh my God. And I had to get out the flashlight, and we had to get like under the chair and like reach around in the mechanical labyrinth to get the key.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You found them, I'm guessing, right?
We did find them.
Thank God. Holy shit. Man. So one takeaway from this episode, you need to watch the preview for Aquaman.
Oh yeah.
Really bad. Because that
Aquaman.
movie looks amazing. That was like a straight up horror movie.
I like Jason Momoa a lot. He's really good.
That dude seems fucking hilarious. I had no idea he was so funny. He's also huge. Oh my God. I've been seen pictures of him in real life. I think it was the Suicide Squad premiere or whatever. Like he was messing with Will Smith. He's enormous.
Yeah.
The dude is massive. I was like, whoa. But yeah, he's playing practical jokes on everybody and everything. Yeah.
He's he was in whatchamacallit, the Stargate Atlantis. He was Ronan.
Oh, I never saw Stargate Atlantis.
That's more funny. He plays the big alien guy who is stoic and whatnot, but he has kind of a dry, humorous thing going on.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's pretty good. I like him overall.
Very nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
definitely watch the Aquaman trailer.
Okay, so let's end this episode.
All right, sounds good. All right, we will see you guys in a week.
Yep. So real fast, stuff that they can contact us on.
Oh yeah, do it. Sorry. Okay, yes. So I'm on Twitter at BSG Bryan.
And I am at Senior Don Gatto.
And we are at Egghead Anarchy on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Egghead Anarchy. We also have eggheadanarchy.com, and I need to upload the last few episodes there so people can watch them or listen to them. And shit, they're somewhere else. Oh, we're also on iTunes. We're also on Stitcher. We're also on SoundCloud. Anywhere you go, you can just search Egghead Anarchy and find us.
YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
We could use more YouTube subscribers. Go subscribe on YouTube.
Yes,
it'd be cool.
Do that. Subscribe. Yes.
Yeah. And thank you to OC Remix.
Yes. Thank you so much. We're 26 episodes in now, and we still have not run out of music from OC Remix. There's that much good music on ocremix.org.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
I'd kind of most musicians have more than 26 songs. I guess there's multiple songs per episode.
We use up to 8 songs per episode.
Have you really used 8 songs in an episode?
Yeah. For some of our old episodes where we used to have all the little segments, there'd be music in between each one, and it'd be a different song for every episode. I want to switch something up where I want to start using one song and use different segments from each song in future episodes. But yeah,
I kind of assumed that you did that. This is the part where everyone realizes that I only listened to about a third of these back. Maybe half to a third. Just to be like, how do these sound once Bryan's finished with them? Because I remember the content in them. Like, I don't need to go back and hear myself say things again and just be like, oh, you're right, me. I was correct on that. I'm the best. No, I just go back occasionally to be like, oh yeah, Bryan's doing a real good job editing these, which you are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So yeah, see you guys later.
Peace.